Right, children. We are going to start the second chapter of this lesson. Do you remember what we learned in the first chapter? We learned how the environmental temperature increases and decreases because of the sunlight, and also we learned about warm-blooded and cold-blooded animals. And further we learn about the methods of generating heat. And we learn about the first method of generating heat, and now you all know that heat can be generated by rubbing two objects together. Okay, so the second chapter we are going to start with an activity. Look at the topic. Let's make a model of a solar water heater. So look at the materials given. What are the things we need? We need a cardboard box, a flexible plastic tube, pair of scissors, a transparent glass sheet. We need binder glue, aluminium foil, and we need black paint and a piece of PVC pipe. We'll write down this. Cardboard box. So this box we have to remove the lids, okay? Without the lids. Plastic tube. Plastic tube. Plastic or rubber tube also can be used here. Pair of scissors. Pair of scissors. Transparent glass sheet. Transparent glass sheet. Binder gum. Aluminium foil. Aluminium foil. Black paint. PVC pipe. Okay, children, we need a cardboard box, a flexible plastic tube, a pair of scissors, transparent glass sheet, binder gum, aluminium foil, black paint, and PVC pipe. Okay, so how to do this activity? We have to make a setup like this using the materials. Okay, we'll go through this one. Make two holes as shown in the figure on one side of the box, and they must be equal in size to the plastic tube. Now look at this one. You all can see this is the cardboard box. We will label them. This is the cardboard box. Right? This is the PVC pipe. This is the flexible plastic tube. And you all can see these are the holes in the box, okay? I will mark it like this. Cardboard box. PVC pipe. This is the lower hole, and there should be a hole here as well. And this is the plastic tube. Plastic tube. Right. And this is the glass sheet. Transparent glass sheet. Glass sheet. Okay, right. So make two holes as shown in the figure on one side of the box, the same side. Okay, at two levels, upper and lower. Paste the aluminium foil inside the box. Right, paste the aluminium foil inside the box. You have to line the inner walls of the box with the aluminium sheet. Okay. Wind the plastic tube around the PVC tube and apply black paint on the PVC tube, plastic tube and aluminium foil in the box. Okay, you have to look at this one. You have to wind this plastic tube around the PVC pipe and you have to apply black paint on all the surfaces inside, right? Inside of the box and the plastic tube and the PVC pipe. Okay, so wind the plastic tube around the PVC tube and apply black paint on the PVC tube, plastic tube and aluminium foil in the box. Okay, paste the PVC tube vertically into the box. So here you all can see the PVC tube is fixed to the inner part of the box. Keep the glass sheet instead of the lid of the box. Right, I told you earlier we have to remove the lid of the box and instead you have to cover the box with the glass sheet. Right, keep it under direct sunlight. Okay, and fix the rear end of the plastic tube, the bottom end of the plastic tube to a tap. Now this is where you send water from. I'll mark it with a different color. This is the inlet. This is the inlet. And this is the outlet. Outlet. What we have to do is this tube, this bottom tube should be connected to a tap. Right? Fix the rear end of the plastic tube to a tap and let some water pour in. Remember, we have to open the tap only a little, which means the flow of water should be very slow. Okay, now check whether the water which comes out of the other end is hot. Now when we send water from this side, it will go around this tube. Right, children, it will go around this tube and from this top part it will come out. Understand, children? So we have to check whether there is any difference of temperature in the water that we send inside from here and the water that comes out from this outlet. Okay, children? Now I am going to show you how to make this equipment in the lab. Right, children? Now we are going to make a model of a solar water heater. So I already explained you all what do you want to make this model, okay? So we need a cardboard box like this. So you all can see you have to make two holes like this. So we are going to insert this plastic tube. Therefore, this hole should be equal to the size of the hole should be equal to the plastic tube. You have to make two holes like this, okay? Then you need to use this type of plastic tube and a PVC pipe. And then inside of this box you have to line, you have to cover with aluminium sheets or even aluminium foil, okay? So look at this one. I have covered it and after covering it on, you all have to color it in black, paint it in black color. Okay, children? Not only the box, you have to color this plastic tube and even the PVC pipe also in black color. Then what do you have to do? You have to wind this plastic tube around this PVC pipe like this. First of all, I am going to hold it together. And then you can tie it up with the wire like this to keep them together. Right? And afterwards, so we have to insert these two ends of this plastic tube into these two holes, right? Watch carefully. And after that, you are going to enter this PVC pipe through all the turns of the plastic tube. Right. Now look at this one carefully, children. Right. So you all can see this plastic tube around the PVC pipe. And here you all can see the two ends of the plastic tube. go through the holes like this. Now what you all have to do, children? You have to cover this box with a glass sheet like this, and you have to take this setup outside where enough sunlight present. And afterwards you have to connect this bottom tube to a tap. Okay, remember you have to connect a tap to this one. Okay, to the bottom one, and then you have to send water slowly. So then what happens, children? Water will go through this tube and inside the box, water will go up and comes out from this other top tube. So why do you have to connect the tap to the bottom tube, children? So in that case, when the water goes from down to up, what will happen? Water gets enough time to heat up. At the same time, why did we color all these other parts of this box in black color, children? Because black color can absorb a lot of heat than the other colors. Okay. So when you keep this setup outside where enough sunlight present, this box can absorb a lot of heat given by the sun, and thereby the inside the box gets heated up really well. So when we send water from one side, when the water goes inside the box, when the water goes through the plastic tube from bottom to top, it gets heated up really well. So when we send water from the bottom tube, the water comes out from this top tube is the temperature is higher than that of the water that we inserted from the bottom. So this model is a very good example for a solar water heater. Right, children? So you saw how to make that type of solar water heater, okay? So I showed you how to fix all the parts together, and I explained how it works, children. Even though we did not actually use to heat water, I explained you all how the water gets heated up. Okay, children? So what happens again? Now you all know that the inner part of the box is black in color. What is the reason for paint the inner part of the box in black in color? Not only the inner part, all these PVC tube and the plastic tube also colored in black. What is the reason, children? Because we have to leave this setup under sunlight. Therefore, this setup will get heated up because of the sun's heat. Right, children? Now, the black color has a special ability to absorb more heat. Okay, children? Therefore, by applying black color inside of the box, what will happen, children? The efficiency of this equipment increases, which means water gets heated up faster. Okay, that is because the black surfaces can absorb more heat. Right, children? And what is the reason? I explained this one also. What is the reason that we send a slow water current from bottom to top? Why can't we fix it to the top? Why can't we send water from the top and take it out from the bottom? You all know that if we send water from top to bottom, water will come down faster towards the gravity. Right, children? Because of the gravity, from up to down, from top to bottom, water will move faster. But we need to keep water inside this setup for a long period of time in order to heat it properly. Right, children? Therefore, we have to send water from the bottom tube. So the water has enough time to go around this plastic tube, and when it comes out from the upper tube, what will happen? It will get heated up nicely. Okay, children? Another thing is we have to send a slow water current. So then when the water moves slowly through the plastic tube, it gets enough time to heat up. Right, children? What is the reason for covering the box with a glass sheet? It should be a transparent glass sheet. That is because the sunlight should enter the box. In that case, we have to use something transparent here. Right? And at the same time, the sunlight that enters the box is kind of trapped because of this glass sheet. Therefore, the heat currents will stay inside the glass box more. Okay, children? So, you all can see when you look at this setup, there are different changes that has made in order to increase the efficiency of this setup. Number one, coloring the inner part of the box with black color. Number 2, send in water from bottom to top. And number 3, using a glass sheet to cover this box. Okay, children. So you all can make this setup at home and try to do this activity because all these things can be easily found from your environment. Okay, children. So we are going to write the observation and conclusion. Right, observation. The water comes out of the upper tube. Is warmer than the water sent in through the lower tube. Right, the water comes out of the upper tube is warmer than the water sent in through the lower tube. We did not do this activity, but this would be the observation when you do this activity at home. Right, so what is the upper tube and lower tube? This is the upper tube and the lower tube. We send water from here, and after going through this plastic tube, the warm water will come out. Okay, children? Right. So what is the conclusion? This setup can be used to heat water efficiently. Right? Let's write. Solar water heater. We'll write model solar water heater. Model solar water heater can be used to heat water. Right, children? The model solar water heater can be used to heat water. So after this activity, it's very clear we can use solar energy to generate heat energy or thermal energy. Okay, children? So under this chapter also we are discussing about the methods of generating heat. So earlier chapter we learned that by rubbing two objects together we can generate heat, and here using solar energy we can generate heat energy. Okay? Right. We have an assignment to do. List out the instances where the solar power is used at your home. So day-to-day activities, the instances we use solar power. What are the instances, children? What are the instances we use the heat energy of sun? Now, you all know that solar power can be used to generate electricity, but here we'll write the examples of the uses of the heat energy of sun. You all know that we can use solar energy to dry our wet clothes. Okay, now about the solar energy, even in the 4th lesson we discussed. So I think you all can remember. So before you watch this video, you all have to make your own list. Okay, right. So we'll list out the instances where the solar power is used at your home. Number 1, to dry wet clothes. What else, children? You all know to dry grains, to dry chili, and sometimes to dry lime. When we make lime pickle also we can use solar energy. Okay, let's write. To dry chili, grains, etc. Okay. What else, children? You all know that using solar energy, the heat of the sun, we can dry food items and we can preserve them. What is the meaning of preserving food, children? Preserving food means keeping food for a long period of time without spoiling them. Okay, children? So we'll write preserve food. To preserve some food. What are the examples for the food preserved using solar energy, children? We can make dry fish using fish. Now, when we dry the fish under sunlight, what will happen? The amount of water present in the fish evaporates. So, when the water present in the fish evaporates, it becomes dry fish. Okay, children? So, we'll write. So, when we make dry fish, we add salt and under sunlight, we can dry them. Okay? Example, fish. Another one, we can even write about solar water heater. Heating water using solar water heater. That is also the use of solar energy. Heating water using solar water heater. Okay, to dry wet clothes, to dry chili, grains, lime, okay, to preserve some food items like fish, okay, heating water using solar water heaters. So you can find more examples for this assignment. Understand, children? We'll move on to the next. Right. Other than the sun, there are a number of other sources of energy. What are the other sources of energy? Other sources of heat energy actually, right? So what are the other than the sun? Now, sun can be used to generate heat energy. Apart from sun, what are the other methods of generating heat energy, children? We can burn fuel and generate heat energy. We write as an example, by burning fuel. What is a fuel, children? Remember, a fuel is a substance that can be obtained heat by burning. Okay, so what are the different types of fuel that we use in our day-to-day life, children? Some of these fuels are fossil fuels, right? By burning coal, we can generate heat energy. Now, you all know that in thermal power plants, heat energy generated by burning fossil fuel is used to generate electricity. Right, by burning LP gas. LP gas is another type of fossil fuel. Okay, by burning natural gas, we can obtain heat. Right, children? We'll write some of them. LP gas. Coal. Now, these are fossil fuels. Apart from them, what are the other different types of fuels, children? To obtain heat, whatever we can burn can be considered as a fuel. You all know that by burning firewood, we can obtain energy. Right? What else? Coconut shells. Coconut shells. Dry leaves. Biogas. Right? Even petrol, diesel, they are also coming under different types of fuel. Okay, children, now petrol and diesel are coming under fossil fuels, okay? So by burning fuel also we can obtain a large amount of energy. Understand, children? So we learn different methods of generating heat. Now we learn about by burning fuel we can obtain heat apart from sunlight. Okay, children? We'll go through this one. Look for some sources of heat energy you can find at home. You will find that apart from combusting fuel, heat is generated in electrical appliances. Right, children? Using electricity also we can generate heat. Okay? So, you all know that in day-to-day life we use different types of electrical appliances. What are they, children? Shall we write some examples? Now, you can write this before me. Okay? So, heat is generated in electrical appliances. What are the electrical appliances where heat is generated? Now, when we use any kind of electrical appliance, children, heat energy is used. Now, we know that when we watch TV, after a little while, when we turn on the TV, if we touch the TV, it is, the surface is warmer. Right, children? That is because of emission of heat energy. Right. Here in this list, we will write what are the appliances that directly generate heat. You all know that different appliances we use to cook food, right? We'll write the rice cooker and other electric cookers, right? Rice cooker. And we can write electric kettles and jugs, right? What else? We can write electric oven. It generates heat energy. Using the heat energy, we can cook food, okay? Right. What else, children? Hair dryer. Water heater, right? Toaster, right? Electric iron to iron our clothes. Okay, so the list goes on. You can write many other examples under your list. Okay, so here it's given heat is generated in electrical appliances. Now these type of appliances directly generate heat, convert electrical energy to heat energy. Using that heat energy, we can get our work done. Right, children? So when we consider other appliances, let's say that when we turn on a stand fan, after a little while, if we touch the back of the fan, we'll feel it's warmer, right? That is also because of generation of heat energy, right? But there we don't use that heat energy to do our work because that is not the purpose of the fan, right, children? But here, when we consider these type of electrical appliances, you all know that the purpose of these appliances is providing heat. Okay, children, because of the heat generated by these type of appliances, we get our work done. Okay, so in this way, you all can understand that there are many methods of generating heat. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Right, we have another assignment to do. Find such an appliance which is not in use and examine it well. You will find that there is a heating coil in it to generate heat. There is a heating coil. Right, children? So sometimes in some hot plates, we can see this heating coil, children. So you can observe a kind of electric appliance that is not in use, but you have to get the help of an adult. Okay? So if you open those type of appliance, you will see there's a heating coil, something like this, right? All the turns present very close to each other, okay, like a spring. Okay, children, so remember, most of the time these type of heating coils are made with a material called nichrome. Okay. Nichrome is used to make these type of heating coils. Now, nichrome is a type of alloy. Alloy is a material which is a combination of metals and non-metals sometimes. Okay, so nichrome is made by combining nickel, chromium and iron. Nickel, chromium and iron, they all are metals. By combining these metals in a certain proportion, we can make nichrome wires, and these nichrome wires can generate a high amount of heat when electricity is passed through them. Therefore, these type of nichrome wires are used to make different types of heating appliances. Okay, children, we'll move on to the next. Right. So we have an activity. Let's make a heating coil. Now we already discussed about nichrome coils as heating coils. Here we are going to make our own heating coil. Okay, what are the things we need? We need a thin copper wire, a thin piece of copper wire, pair of scissors or paper cutter to cut this, dry cells, and a pencil. Okay, right. This activity also can be done at home. If you can find a copper wire, it's very easily can be done at home. Okay, right. We'll see how to do this. The method. Look at the setup. Wind the wire around the pencil overlapping one another. Now in the lab, I'm going to show you how to make a coil of wire using the copper wire. Okay, so you have to take the pencil and you have to wind the copper wire around the pencil very close to each other, right? And connect the cells to the two ends of the wire for about 1 minute. You all can see the two ends of this copper coil that we made is connected to the dry cells, right? And you have to leave for about 1 minute. And afterwards, you have to touch this coil and observe what happens, okay? We'll label this diagram, children. Whenever you have a diagram, you have to label it so that you can understand it better. Dry cells, coil of wire, pencil. Dry cells, pencil, coil of wire. Coil of wire. Okay? Wind the wire around the pencil overlapping one another. Connect the cells to the two ends of the wire for about 1 minute. Check carefully whether the coil is heated. We'll do this activity now. Right, children? Now I'm going to show you how to make a heating coil. So what do we need to make a heating coil? Now we have two cells. We have a copper wire, a pencil, and connective wires, right? So first of all, I am going to take this copper wire and we have to make a coil first. How to make a coil, children? I am going to wind this copper wire around this pencil. Watch carefully. So you have to make a copper coil of wire by winding this copper wire around the pencil. Okay. Right. Look at this one. Now it's very clear. Right? And then you have to connect these two ends of this copper coil to these dry cells, right? So for that one, I'm going to connect one end to this wire and the other end to the dry cell. And then this end also I'm going to use in the connective wire. I'm going to connect it to the dry cell. Right. So now it's like a simple circuit, children. You all can see the dry cells are connected to this coil of wire. What actually happens is electricity flows through this circuit. Okay. So you have to touch this coil of wire and observe. Now you can't see the observation. I'm going to let it stay for some time. Right. Now I can feel this coil is getting heated up. Now it's slightly getting heated up. We'll wait for some more time. Right, children. After about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes, I can nicely feel that this one's heat is higher than before. Okay, which means when electricity flows through this circuit, through this coil of wire, this coil of wire gets heated up. So after about 1 minute, I can easily feel that, I can feel that this coil of wire is getting heated up. Right, children? Now you can't see this because we have to touch to feel this, whether this is hot or not. Now, it is very clear after doing this activity, when we connect this coil of wire to the circuit using these wires, when we connect it to this dry cells, what happens? Electricity flows through this circuit and the coil of wire gets heated up, which means because of electricity, heat is produced. So you observed what happened. Actually, you could not really observe what happens because I told you only I can feel the temperature change, okay? So what did we do in the lab? Right? So we connected this type of coil of wire to the dry cells, and we when we pass electricity through this one, and when we touch the coil of wire, I told you that I can feel it gets heated up. Okay, children? But you cannot say it, but when you do this activity at home, you all will understand this better. Okay? So we'll write the observations. When the coil of wire is connected to dry cells, what happens, children? It gets heated up. It gets heated up. It gets heated up. Okay? When the coil of wire is connected to dry cells, it gets heated up. Okay? So what is the reason? So after doing this activity, it is very clear when an electric current flows through the coil of wire, heat energy is also generated. Okay? So when electric current passes through the coil of wire, it gets heated up, which means because of electrical energy, heat energy is generated. Okay? Right. Conclusion. When an electric current is passed through the coil of wire, heat is generated in the coil of wire. Okay? When an electric current is passed through the coil of wire, heat is generated in the coil of wire, which means using electricity also we can generate heat. So we are learning about different methods of generating heat. Now we all know using electricity also we can generate heat. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Right. We have this assignment to do. We'll go through this. We all have seen many instances where heat is produced by rubbing two substances. Why can we produce heat by rubbing two substances? Because of the friction. Right, children? It is sometimes a disadvantage. List out such instances where we consider this as a disadvantage. So now we all know that by rubbing two objects we can generate heat. What actually happens? Because of friction, when we rub two objects together, because of the friction created, it can generate heat. Okay, do you remember at the same time I told y'all when the surfaces are rough, the friction is higher. Due to high friction, the heat energy or the heat generated also higher. Okay, children? And at the same time, even earlier I explained you all, sometimes this friction is a disadvantage. Do you remember I explained you all about machine parts, and I even explained about lubricating the machine parts. Okay? So when we consider different machines in the factories, their efficiency should be very high. Right, children? So large machines are made with different types of large number of different machine parts. Right, children? So when we run the machines, sometimes they contact with each other. Right? So because they contact with each other, a friction is created. Because of the friction, the heat is generated. Now you all know this incident. Okay, children? So some of these machines, the machine parts get damaged due to the high heat produced. That is one disadvantage. Okay, children? Because of the heat generated due to high friction, the machine parts gets damaged. Right, children? And the other thing is, the efficiency of the machine also reduces. Okay, the machine is supposed to do some work. Because that energy is wasted as heat energy, the efficiency of the machine reduces. Right, children? Which means it affects the efficiency of the whole process. Right? Another thing is, when the machine parts get heated up very much, sometimes it can cause fire as well. Right, children? We'll write these things. Right. Number 1. The machine parts could get damaged. Due to high heat. Right, children? Second one. The efficiency of the machines reduces as part of energy is wasted as heat energy. Right? For example, most of the machines run because of electricity. So when we provide electricity, if it generates heat, part of the electricity is wasted to generate heat as well. Right? Okay. Next one. Due to the heat generated between machine parts. A fire could occur. Okay? So when the friction is high, sometimes you must have seen between machine parts, it starts, the sparks start. And because of the sparks, a fire could occur. Okay? Number 4. Right. So all these things are related to the factories, children. Can you think of an example from the natural environment? Right. Have you heard of forest fires, children? There are many reasons for the occurrence of forest fire. One reason is because of the friction created when two trees are rubbed with each other. You all know sometimes during very dry seasons, drought seasons, the whole environment gets dried up. Leaves of the plants dry. Okay, so the bushes and all the other plants get dried up. Okay, children? At the same time, sometimes these type of areas have high winds or strong wind currents. So because of the strong winds, sometimes two parts of the trees may rub with each other. When they rub with each other, now we all know that because of two objects rubbing with each other, friction is created, right? The heat is generated as well. So because of the heat generated, and this time if the environment is very dry, if the plant parts also very dry, even with a little amount of heat generated, it might catch fire. Right, children? So in some countries, you all know this bushfire or forest fire lasts for months. Okay, children? So basically this happens during the dry seasons. Okay? So we'll write that as well. Occurrence of forest fire or bushfire. So what is the question again? We all have seen many instances where heat is produced by rubbing two substances. It is sometimes a disadvantage. List out such instances where we consider this as a disadvantage. So we wrote some examples. The machine parts could get damaged due to high heat in factories. Okay. The efficiency of the machines reduced as part of the energy is wasted as heat energy. Right. This is also in factories. Due to the heat generated between machine parts, a fire could occur. Right. And lastly, occurrence of forest fire. This happens because of rubbing of two trees or rubbing of two branches with each other due to strong winds. Okay, if this happens during a drought season, in a dry area, right, during dry seasons, this spread of forest fire is very high. Okay, really fast. Okay, children. So we have completed the second chapter as well. Do you remember what we learned in these first two chapters? We learned about how to generate heat, different methods of generating heat, and what are the changes take place in the environment because of increase and decrease of temperature, sun's heat as well. So we are going to move to the next chapter now.